Hello everyone, welcome to the Glitch in the Matrix again. I'm your host Amitesh, he's Vedant, and today we are talking with Mr. Sachin Rajgire. And before we get to him, he has experience in United States and he helped like 500 plus students get full-time jobs all across the globe. So we would love to listen from you, Sachin. How are you doing today?
I am pretty good, Amitesh. Thank you for having me on the show.
Sachin, can you tell about little bit about your trajectory, how you got where you are?
Sure, sure. So I came in 2001. So I'm like really an alumni, super alumni. I did my master's in University of Maryland, College Park. Graduated 2003 in telecommunications, and then got started on the infrastructure side on mostly wireless network. I worked on the infrastructure side for quite a bit, but I realized that there's a shift towards software. I studied myself and made a shift to software. I did started with front end engineering and slowly. So then, but from many years, I had a passion of helping candidates find job, and I had a big network. I did pro bono work of helping, candidates. And then in about 5 years back, then, I thought I'll go professional. Because a lot of students, especially international students, I helped them connect to the companies. And then I was like, I can make a career out of it. And I really love doing that. So that's how I jumped into it. And so Vinisco was born. And since then, there's no looking back. We've been helping a lot of tech guys get a job and crack into new positions. Yeah. So that's how my trajectory is.
That's really great, and the transition from being a master's student to into a business and like making it a successful business takes a whole lot of effort. We will talk about that, but before that, since you have seen like a lot of students in front of you and you have mentored like over 500 students, international students, in fact, what unique challenges do international students face in the US job market? If I ask you to pinpoint a couple of obstacles that are in today's market and that was in the market like 5 years back.
Mhm.
How easy or difficult has the things changed?
A few years back, it was really easy. Honestly, we used to just the market was so hot they could not find enough people. So in fact, nobody wanted to join Vinisco. They're like, we can find job by ourselves. Actually, so we had to convince them why they should join Vinisco. And you can just train them for a couple of months because there was no people in the market, and any decent guy would get a job. Everybody who came to Vinisco were like with no experience, they knew nothing. So we had to start from the scratch. That is few years back. When we make a resume, throw it in the market, they get hired. Now it's, as you guys know, it's really hard to get a job. So the unique challenge is the problem with international students is the visa. It is that they are actually superior to their counterparts, but unfortunately, visa is an issue. So I think the biggest, if they can get over that hurdle of somehow convincing them that they have an OPT and they can actually work for 3 years, that is number one. Number two challenge, I feel like a lot of them start out well, they clear the first round, but they don't know the American culture. And somehow, like for example, we kind of give them training of culture fit. Let's just say you go to a director's cabin and everybody's laughing, having fun. The panel is laughing, having fun, and taking. Then you kind of be a room in the room, and you kind of have chill, talk to them. So I feel like international students cannot understand that. Okay, if it's a serious kind of interview, then you don't joke around. You can So that's, and I think this culture fit is one of the problems these are two big challenges I think they face.
I would completely agree since I'm also into the job market. I'm trying to look for data scientist roles. I personally feel the visa is a big obstacle, the one thing that you said. And I'm yet to feel the American culture problem because, well, I know how, like, it's different from Indian culture, but I'm trying to pave my way for that. To crack into this job market, if a student who has, let's say, 2 years of work experience back in India at a company like maybe Cognizant, Infosys, Accenture, or Capgemini, and they transition to the USA. And now in the US market, they are trying to find a job. So, what are the checkpoints that they should check that will make it easier for them to land a job?
Okay, cool. And I'll tell you a story. Just so one of the I have, as I said, there is no checkpoints. We had I have dealt with a lot of candidates. We get the
Mhm.
best of the best, they still cannot crack. I have one guy, and you will not believe this. This guy, I was not taking in them. He was trying to get into Unesco when I was not taking them because he didn't have much experience. Literally every day he comes to me, he has a new offer. Literally every day. For last 4 days, he came to me and said, Sachin, I got a new offer. Sachin, I got a new
Wow.
offer. And I was shocked. I was like, what the hell are you doing? I don't want to mention his name. He's still, it's like, what are you doing? Just, I really need to know the secret. Okay. He's like, Sachin, so here's the, just he told me, it's like, he said, I really work hard, number one. Number two, I have prepared answer for every question possible out there. And I practice in front of mirror like all day. Okay. And I really work hard for every interview. I don't let that go easily, right? And that is like, and that really, again, as I said, there is no shortcuts, and we have seen all kinds of very qualified content not getting the interviews, very not qualified getting multiple offers. So I think a approach that the student should take is this. First of all, companies are smart. They really can see through it. You need to show your worth. And one girl, I mean, again, cannot mention the name. We do exit interview for all the candidates. She mentioned you have to sell yourself. She said, brag yourself. This is not the time to be humble. If you got
Mhm.
like a 1 year, tell them I have a podcast. Tell them that this it takes a lot of work. When the interview comes, you need to really brag yourself. Tell them how your managers and everybody liked you. So that's
And
uh,
so I was just wondering, what is the differentiating factor with someone who has a lot of experience, who is talented, and who is working hard? Because most of the international students work hard, versus the guy with less work experience but with like 4 job offers. Like, what was that secret sauce?
I'm like a little bit bewildered by that myself. And this is one of the things we have seen with candidates who are successful is that they call us a lot. Say, Sachin, and our team, they will bother us. This student is a pain in, like, he calls, I need help with this, I need this, Sachin, how to do this. He's everywhere, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then there are like really silent whisperers, right? And somehow I think the future of work is somebody who can get work done. These guys have the attitude of getting work done from us as a company who are providing services, but some will consume much more services. They will come and bother you. So I think the differentiating factor is the silent whisperer. They will message the instructor personally. They're too shy, and the companies recognize this these days, that hey, we need guys, the technology will come and go, we need somebody who can get the work done, right? And from
Mm-hmm.
vendors, whether superiors, whether, so that is kind of a differentiating the companies. I think that is has been a big realization for me.
Getting back to the point you just told, that the obstacles that students face, one was visa, second was American culture, and third is my personal doubt. Since they say that there is a surge of software engineers and data scientists or data roles, and they have crowded the whole market, and the competition is at like it's like at high. Is that one reason that's contributing to it? Because I see my friends and like couple of people, they are getting jobs. Like, it does take them a lot of effort because again, there is not a lot of money into the economy, and before elections, companies also wanna have some clarity like what's gonna future look like. So they are also not hiring, and still students are cracking. So do you think the supply demand is also obstacle, that there's a lot of supply of software and data roles, but the demand is going down? Is it also contributing to it?
I honestly, I don't know, but there is definitely, I see a softening demand for full stack and developers, but I do
Mm-hmm.
not see a heavy dip for the data guys. In fact, most of our placements are coming from the data side, data scientists, data analysts, data engineering. I definitely see a little bit of software demand. Now, on the development side, what's happening is they need guys who are really, really good, because they want the developers to kill the development. They want developers at high level, that they make a software which doesn't require any more developers. So that's
Great.
number one. They need a really high level. Of course, there is still pretty strong demand. In fact, I was talking to many, I have very recruiter friends. After 25 years, Java developer is still the number one requirement in US, where the data comes. So there's still a huge requirement of Java backend. There's almost 11,000 openings for Java developers. So now Data side, the demand is very strong because of the AI. You need data, you need cleaning, you need to store them, you need to work on the data. The standards of hiring has definitely gone up. There is demand, but they're going to hire the guy who can fit the most roles. It wasn't the case before. I don't see any softening demand. There is
Okay.
actually pretty strong demand.
So what new skills or strategies should a student focus on to have a edge in this market rather than communication or like DSA? These are like basic thing. You have to show up with that. What are other skills and strategies that a student can have and it will put him into the edge?
Right. Okay. So there's two things. One is tech skills. So tech skills, obviously, you need to improve. You have to be able to clear. So they're going to ask you some
Mhm.
questions. There is no way around it. You need to be able to solve easy to medium A level problems. That is given in for developers at least, right? Now, on the flip side, we have seen the other skill set that you need to have is the same thing that everybody tells you. You need to be able to explain properly, articulate. A lot of people, international students have done a lot of work, but they are not able to explain, right? They are not able to articulate what they have done, their project, how that has been impactful. They cannot convey the value. So one of the things I would focus is conveying your value, right? How your manager, the last company really relied on you to
Mhm.
do everything, right? That is one of the
Right,
skills you need to, how to sell yourself. So
right.
overall, it is the combination of, and then no matter what you do, you need to give enough. The one thing a lot of guys forget is you need to give enough interviews to even the best of our guys give at least 7, 8 interviews before they can get an offer. So one of the things is the practice, right? There's a whole combination of things that actually work.
Sachin, you've had a technical career. You worked on front-end technologies and then you worked on voice technologies. How do you see AI transforming these roles? And specifically, how does it play a role in increasing the development efficiency?
I was shocked to see that you can take a screenshot and the AI will develop the whole web UI. So right now it's making the developer life easy, like Copilot, autocorrect, the templates are already there. You don't need to write a boilerplate code anymore. You just tell it to write, it will write. So the it's starting point of what I'm seeing is it's right now helping the developers quite a bit, correcting them. And a lot of the advanced level software, there's one software called I forgot which can develop. So Copilot, it kind of writes software for you, things like that. So but I feel like right now it's helping, but in the very near future it's going to do a lot of heavy lifting for you. For example, if you want, like, I've seen that you can make SEO friendly website. We have to write the code, so you don't have to, it can go grab all the information and it will do that work for you. I see a very heavy advancement here. It's actually going to come much faster than people think. We are very scared. We are also like getting fall into it, but definitely it's coming. I would say it's impacting quite heavily.
We were just talking about AI and automation. You have automated job application processes and it's like putting it efficiently. How do you balance automation for this, for every specific candidate, making it a personalized manner?
Yeah, so we're still figuring out. It's work in progress because it doesn't work. The automation doesn't work no matter what, because how can you automate? Like, let's just say you scrape. So the first step would be scraping all the jobs available. Let's just say you go to American Express, you run a scraper, you scrape the job, and then you customize the resume, and then you submit it, right? That would be automation. But we have tried that. It doesn't work because it breaks so often. For example, American Express, they will change the code and our automation fails. So what we have done is in bits and pieces. The automation is in bits and pieces. So I won't be able to 100% give all of them,
And
but we'd
mhm.
use a lot of tooling. For example, for auto filling, you don't need to fill up, job applications. You have extension, you fill up all the information. So that's one thing we use. Second thing is we use heavily is phantom buster. We will scrape the jobs and filter it out. You can do that, but I would say definitely one thing everyone should do is that autofill extension, number one, right? And then there are websites like simplify dot. We used to use Octoparse. Octoparse is again a parsing website that you can make some Indeed templates. It's going to scrape all the jobs for you. Again, we did try a lot. We have some automation, but it breaks so often, honestly speaking, that we
Mhm.
actually have reverted quite a bit system onto manual. So it kind of
Okay.
helps bits and pieces, but we have not been able to like completely automate it.
Given your background in tech and your work with students, Where do you see the most significant opportunities in artificial intelligence in the education and career?
I feel like the opportunities in AI right now, the technology is moving fast, and I personally think that you should not focus on technology at all. You should focus
Okay.
on domain knowledge. For example, if you because there will be technologists, it's very easy to get, and there will be so many developers available, right? So it's a. I personally don't feel like you should go in like let's just say learn about llama. You should know the ecosystem, what's possible out there. For example, there's a system now, agent, they're building agents to replace the humans. You can replicate the work that I do. There's a big opportunities there, and you can program multiple agents to work as a team. My personal take is you should be aware of everything that's happening, but I feel like there is a domain knowledge is where that opportunity is. Like then somebody needs to know, for example, if you want to build an insurance product, rules engine, how the insurance quote come, if a customer, you have this rules engine, things like that, that will be completely automated. You need to understand what kind of insurance will work, what kind of customer profile it will work, how to sell that insurance, how to market that. So
Mhm.
overall understanding, I feel like, is much in demand than actually understanding a AI part.
As the CEO of UNESCO, now that you've scaled the company and having helped hundreds of students secure their jobs in Fortune 500, what was the most challenging aspect that you encountered in your journey?
One of the things I found challenging is to keep up with. It is a very demanding work, because if you have a lot of students, they have a lot of questions, and keeping up with everyone, keep everyone happy, has been very demanding. It is very time consuming. You have to give attention to everyone and everybody's priority because they have interviews, they have some things. So I think, and it is still heavily dependent on my knowledge and my expertise. So one of the challenge has been to scale it up, and I'm sure that is your next question. How do you really scale this up? As a owner and as a CEO, a lot of knowledge is on in my head, and how do we have our team distributed knowledge to that has been a big challenge. To scale it up is very hard because it depends on like a per hour model. It's in my brain and I can only talk to one person at a time. So that is the biggest challenge.
And what does future look like for Vinisco? What are your goals and where do you want to see yourself in this market evolving?
So obviously we want to go a little bigger and we want to help more students, but without compromising the quality. So we're going a little slow. We can go really fast, but it's going to collapse, honestly speaking. Building like a lot of tech behind it, like slowly, it's going to take years. But I feel if there is a job opportunity in tech, for example, any company, Ford, we use that for our own students, but there are hundreds of students who need that opportunity. How about we distribute it to our anybody who subscribes to it? So I feel like there's a lot of tech that work that we're building in few years. We just hired our first CTO. So because we're really lacking, you'll not believe, a lot of processes are very manual in Vinisco.
Sachin, you just told that you didn't told. I heard from my friends who were working with you. They told like you don't select people. You just choose like the best candidates. Doesn't it hurt your business?
Yeah, it does hurt our business. The reason is that for me, it's very easy to make money, but I don't want to leave any bitter test on any of my candidates. Like you come to me, when you go, you should be happy. You got the job. When you're happy, you happily pay us. We are
Mhm.
happy. Everybody's happy. But when you come to me and I didn't do it justice, you didn't get a job for any reason, it leaves a bitter taste in your mouth that maybe I paid $500 to the company, but they were not able to. It spreads bad, and we try our best. So that is the thing that we like our touch point to be positive in every angle, and even if it
Mhm.
means compromising some of the business, so be it, but we want
Mhm.
all the customers to leave happy.
So what is so special about Vinisco? Because like people are going crazy for it. They wanna join Vinisco so bad. Like they are trying to get in contact with you. So what is that you guys do different that other people who help students get jobs? There are a lot of international influencers with like million followers on LinkedIn. So what are you doing different?
Good question. Some of the is secret sauce, but I
Mm-hmm.
feel like one of the things I do, I have a little bit of magic, is I've been doing for 5 years. So the first
Mm-hmm.
thing I do when we make a resume, I take a dump from every student. So now I have probably, you can think my brain as a machine learning, and I've been trained with about 4,000 people who told in detail what they did at the work. Maybe they worked at Capgemini for, so from insurance to, so one of the magic we have is I can talk to them when the first thing we do is make the resume. So I can see what needs to go, what needs to come out. And then I also have the advantage of our students interviewing actively, and I can
Mhm.
see what they've been asking. So having what they have done, what's coming in the market. So I get a very 360-degree view. And so I'm able to kind of help them craft the resume pretty well. By the way, I'd never have charged any time for resume. I always do free sessions. I tell everything. So I think one of the thing is resume is definitely a magic that we do. And we have a little bit of a very structured approach. And you'll not believe, like a lot of people who tell you that they cannot find a job will make very silly mistakes, right? For example, it is very common that now the recruiters are trained to see a LinkedIn with a green banner that open to work, right? They're trained. Okay, if I don't see that green banner, even me, I don't think he's looking for work. That is I have been trained. And you will not believe people are not even opening that green banner. So what we do is also for each candidate, we make sure those small things start adding up, right? That green banner is open. See, a lot of students you cannot message them. A recruiter likes you, they haven't put the phone number there too. And you see a lot of our candidates say, put the damn phone number there. Nobody's going to call you. Nobody's going to misuse you. Even girls are, oh, I don't know. It's like, don't worry. Nobody's going to just put the damn number. Once you get the job,
Yep.
take it. So I would say the secret sauce is obviously what I told, like my experience. We have a very
Mhm.
strong team of people who actually apply on your behalf. It's outsourced. You can think about our service as an outsourced job service. We have a team of 50 right now. I have 55 people that will apply on your behalf. So we have a research team for finding jobs. We have an email team to look for recruiters' email and kind of mail. We attack that problem from 360 degrees, and that is why we're so successful. And again, we fix the small things. If one message I want to give everyone, if anybody still actually hears this till this point, that please, please fix the common stuff. There is a many either like very simple stuff. Like there are many things that, for example, the green banner talked about, no, not making any spelling mistakes. Even if you do the basics right, I think half of the people can get a job properly.
A lot of people have been trying to get into Vinisco and they cannot get in. So how do you get rejected? Like what do you have to do to not be accepted into Vinisco?
So I think first thing we look for is experience, because I say our model is we don't charge upfront. Okay, so the one of the challenges that I cannot is Vinisco puts up. Let's just say you come to Vinisco. Vinisco invests its own money into you, right? You might make millions over your careers, right? But Vinisco is going to make only a small cut of it. You make it is basically, if you don't have the experience, then you are not going to get the interview. So for us, the cost of getting interviews is very high. So how do you get in? If you have good experience and obviously you follow up, you do what we say. Sometimes you have to follow up 3 4 times. Sometimes you have to send me the updates. Say, Sachin, I was rejected last time. Here's what I did in a month. We get about 40 applications a day. We cannot process that. We are like still stuck in like, okay, how do we process so many applications? It's not possible practically.
Right.
And let's say somebody gets a job through Vinisco. What happens after that? How is the fee like calculated and how does that work?
So basically, there's something called income share agreement. That is how we work. I realized long time back the students don't have money. Even I didn't have the money. So income share agreement, like your universities basically did not care. Like you graduated, you don't have a job. You cannot go back to the university and say, hey, give my money back because I didn't get a job and I paid you guys like 40 to 100K. So to solve that problem, Vinisco puts his money in a student. We spend the money. I'll tell you exactly where we spend the money on you. We have instructors on standby. You have an interview and you say the instructor can help you prepare for that pitch. The experienced guys, obviously, they are working folks, but we have to buy their time. Instructors, number one. Number two, people who will find the jobs in the markets, because it used to be easy, but now it's no longer easy. The jobs are hidden somewhere, maybe on the company page, maybe they are on the LinkedIn post, they are on the normal portal. So finding the jobs. So that is where all the investment for the company goes. And so because we invest so much money in it, we have to make at least 3 to 4 times, because there will be some success students that are not successful, and we have to compensate for the students. You can think about a VC, right? Venture capitalist, right? They invest money in 10 companies, assuming that, 8 will like go bust and one will break even, and then one will be a super. You can think about our company and then model. We invest in 5 students. We know one of them is not going to get a job, and that money that we spent on it is a sunk cost.
As a CEO of Vinisco, where do you invest most of your time, like managing operations or managing people or doing what? And with the tag question, I want to ask you, since you started from a technical background, then you transitioned into a business. So did you had that business acumen throughout, or in the initial days of Vinisco, you were also struggling?
Honestly, I was always learning. I mean, from 2008, I was in the show business. I did a very big show. I did Shreya Ghoshal and Atif Aslam big show in Washington DC, dark constitutional packed show, 3,800 people. I did Bali Sagu. I brought all the artists, big artists, and I even had a staffing company in 2011. So was always entrepreneurial. It's just that it didn't work out because you're still young and you don't know how to manage money properly, and you're not serious about it. But I have very good ideas. I have business acumen, but I don't have attention to details. And I have many other problems, but business acumen is not one of them. Or getting new ideas is not one of the problems I have. I have other problems. So where do I
Yeah.
spend the time? It depends. Like, for example, a lot of things break down. So we had a third party company called Leaf that used to provide services. And again, as I said, just 2011, 2021, 22, everybody made money. Everybody. People,
Hmm.
I know people who did 2, 3 jobs. I know a guy who did 4 jobs at the same time. I visited his place. I was like, how can you do 4 jobs? And he actually showed me. So we had a third party company called Leaf that used to do our full processing of payments, students intake, their contract management. And
Right.
IS was a huge boom because even big universities, Purdue, a lot of these big universities also got into income share because the
Hmm.
cost of education has gone up very high from the time. So but many students cannot afford it, but income share anybody can afford it because you have to pay later when you get a job. Pretty much everybody has stopped. All the companies who were in income share has pretty much gone bust or they stopped. So Leaf, who was a provider, also stopped because their clients were universities. They stopped offering income share because nobody's getting a job. Then companies
Right.
are offering this training and doing all that stuff, and they are not getting any money back. So when the system got broke, we had to move everything from there to Stripe. But I spent a lot of time training the students, evaluating them, pre-qualifying them, and then kind of interview preparation for them. That is where I spend a lot of time because that is the bread and butter for us, basically.
You talked about managing money because it's a big part of because earning money, okay, it's tough, but it's doable. Everybody earns money. But what's the most difficult part about money is to hold it and to invest, put that into the right places, which yields you more money rather than spending it into liabilities. So, how do you manage your money? And what are like 3 lessons that you can give me? I'm 24 years old, so that like I have some knowledge that how to manage my money once I have money.
I'll be honest, I'm still very bad at managing money. So the best solution I found is I don't keep any money. It goes to the bank's account. I don't have access to the account. I don't have access to, or my co-founder and my wife, she actually manages the money. She doesn't give me anything. And that is the best way to manage money, that don't have access to it and you won't spend, But theoretically, I can tell you what you do. I cannot tell you how to manage money, but if you Google anyone, they'll tell if you have money, just buy something. Just buy any damn thing. Just buy something, pay, so you will have
Yeah,
some.
right.
No, don't buy like cars and everything, but like, some real estate or something. Anytime you get money, just buy something and just pay the loan.
Right.
One thing I learned is that if you have the money, buy something, because when you have
Mhm.
a loan, you're obligated to kind of pay it. But if you have cash, you got to spend it. I was at 2 months trip right now. I went to
Mhm.
Olympics. I obviously splurged. Money's okay.
So, do you read books?
I do
I
not.
was reading this book, The Psychology of Money, and I got bored, so I just heard the audiobook, the summary of it, like 10, 15, 20 minute summary. And I personally feel that we students of science, we are not taught about money. And it's a major drawback that we face into our lives. And it should be like taught into early on days of the school, at least after sixth or seventh. What is your take? Like, is monetary financial education to students is like should be there, or the way that is right now is good enough?
Obviously it has to get better because like even if you see at the American culture how they spend money, right? There's like people like in India they save a lot, right? This is how I became like that why I say it's a very wrong person to ask. I just splurge and I live my life. That is how I think about it. I started saving now, but little bit at least I just started buying something because that's how. Ask me where I'm good at. I'm not good at money managing money.
Okay, perfect. What is your personal philosophy to instill the success mindset to your students? Because I see my friends who are not getting job or who are going to India, my senior batches, or the people I know for like some time now. Sometimes they get sad, sometimes they get demotivated that since the market is tough, I'm not getting any call. One of my friend, he was from Purdue University. He did not even receive one interview call, and that's painful. And he has to go back to Canada. So how do you instill that success mindset into your students that to keep that drive, that don't give up? Or do you just work with people who have that drive, who are like motivated to get a job?
It's very hard to tell who has a drive who are not. And some of them, I'll be honest, some of them comes inbuilt. You cannot really, and we tried a lot. You can only increase that to certain level, but a lot of has to do with your past, how you have dealt with the past. Like some of them are very motivated and your personal situation. And I can increase the motivation or say don't give up, do it, but it's very hard to. I can only increase by a certain percentage. Some of the guys they have a loan. Like one guy, I was like, God, he brings an offer every day for last 4 days. He's bringing one offer. He said, I have 80 lakhs loan. I have parents and I have they're counting on me. I don't care what it takes. I'm going to study every minute of it. So that one of the things, if you have a family pressure, then you automatically are inclined to that. But it's a mindset is how I think one of the things definitely you need to is you have to watch. I used to watch a lot of motivational videos. It's very hard to be motivated, and it's when nobody's calling, it's very hard. No matter what I tell you, it's very hard. So some things you have to build right from the start. So I used to read a lot of motivational books. I can do anything attitude I developed. I when I did that concert of $36,000, 3600 people that costed 150K. I had like almost now no money in my account, but I thought that I can do it. And I did it. So that the books and the videos, the motivational video from a lot of people I see, I feel like then I developed that mindset. So it
Right.
cannot be done immediately. If you come to me, you're not getting a job, can you help improve? I most likely it won't work, honestly.
Moving towards the rapid fire round, what's the most unconventional career advice that you've received?
Don't go to college. And I'm personally not, I'm very big fan of colleges because I think it just inhibits creativity. If you really want to do something in life, you just don't need a college because their curriculum is way behind. They cannot compete with like the rapidness of development today, because even if you take a 6 months AI course, by the time you have crossed 6 months, the new algorithms has come. I am not big believer in colleges because they cannot move as fast as I'm a self learner, so I feel like I can learn much better myself.
If you could master one skill instantly, what would it be?
The one skill I would say art of persuasion. If I can persuade somebody for something, I think I will, because then I can have all the superpower. I can convince anybody to do anything for me.
Is there a tech innovation that you think is overrated?
AI. AI is overrated. Right now, I'll tell you the reason, because a lot of companies have done a lot of research. We talk to a lot of companies, and 95% of the AI deployment have failed at this point of time. They are not in production. They have hallucinations so high that most of them have stopped using it. So for now, AI is really overhyped.
Is there a habit in your personal or professional life that has had the most impact on your career?
I think one of the habits is definitely yoga and breathing. Has definitely helped me.
Okay, favorite book?
4 hour work week. Tim Ferriss. Yeah, you should read it, you guys. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
What's your go-to strategy for overcoming failure? Like somebody who's at the rock bottom, how do they keep their hopes up?
I feel like they should have some good friends around or positive, motivated, and who will support them. Maybe financially also helping with the jobs, referrals. I feel like that's the only way you cannot. If you are at the rock bottom, it is very hard for you to come up. You need that support group too, and you can just be honest. I'm at the rock bottom. I need your help to get out of it. You can literally be honest, and most people will help you. If somebody comes to me, Sachin, I had 3 to 4 situation right now. The parents have called me, Sachin, can you help my kid? He hasn't picked up, or she hasn't picked up my call in 3 4 weeks. We call the roommates because they graduated and the bank's loan payments are due. We are telling, hey, the payment is due. They cannot face us because they don't have a job. And so we are calling the roommates. Roommates check in the office, say if that person is okay, and calls us. So parents call me. This is how what's happening right now, guys. It's pretty bad. So I think this is the time that your friends, you need all of us really need to around motivate them to, like, have a healthy conversation about what's going on, what are you feeling, and then kind of just support each other, say, yeah, I'm here for you. We'll try to get this together. I think that's the only way to get out.
If you could have dinner with anybody in this world, dead or alive, any historical figure, who would it be?
I would definitely have a Tim Ferriss, my favorite author.
So, what's the biggest myth around the tech industry?
Biggest myth around tech industry.
An idea that is just too delusional to be believed in, but yet people, think it's true, but it's not.
Biggest myth is that it's actually cheaper to outsource to you, India or third party. It is not as cheap. And I'll tell you the reason. I have worked the people in India. I hope nobody takes an offense, but like right now, Indians are not there yet. People. So I have a friend they had 2 projects. One was very cheap, so he got the team from India. One he got 15. Actually, out of the 10 were OPT guys. He got from US, and the US team only cost 3 times more, and it outperformed the Indian team by miles. And they could got the 1 year's work done in almost 6 months, almost like 1 month. And because these guys were furious, like, they were like, they needed that OPT, they needed it. So my thing is, one of the biggest myth is that it's actually cheaper to outsource to India or another third party country, but it's not. You can actually be cheaper in US also.
Favorite tech CEO?
Tech CEO. Right now, I think the everybody's a crazy guy.
Man.
Hyung Jensen, right?
Then, oh my God, yeah. NVIDIA,
Right
right?
now, that guy is like killing it. I'm a really big fan of it because I think he's just amazing. I can really connect with him.
Right.
One of the things that has really worked out very well is like a lot of guys we see, they talk very shallow. Means that they say, tell me the most complex scenario faced. And then they will tell, like, it's not even a complex scenario. Like some of the challenging stuff, you really need to. So one of the things we ask all guys to this is this link here, and I can share it with you guys. It's you can just Google Kilim Choi. He basically curates all the blogs from the internet. From these are engineering blogs, right?
Okay.
Blogs written by engineers for the engineers, which means that, let's just say, so it's really nicely sorted by companies, individuals, products, technology. For example, if you are in AI, you can just look up your technology. But I go a company like Airbnb, for example, they have very good blogs. And if you look at their Airbnb, it should be an A. If you look at their blogs, it's beautiful, like personal data qualification. So some of the words you can use from here, for example, some of the challenges you can relate to. I'm not saying copy that, but the words, the depth they have, and these are like the best engineers in the world solving one of the most complex problems, right? So if you can read like 10 of these, kind of make some footnotes, kind of save them and speak something related to that, I think that'll be very effective. I feel like because these are super real problem with super
Okay.
real solutions written by engineers. I think that's what I would say. One of the reasons they are not able to, if obviously getting the interview is a challenge, but if once you get, a lot of people are not able to crack it, it's because they don't have that technical depth and like able to,
Okay.
because they don't tell really well. Like the words are not really the industry lingo, and like how do you, right? So
Right.
will definitely help some of the problems.
Obviously.
These are very
So
in-depth.
it is more about like articulation. You told that like if even if you know some technologies, you should be able to articulate it, and for that you can use these blog posts by Kilimji Choi GitHub repository. With that, like I would like to conclude our session, and I was trying to get you on the call for past 1 month. Given your busy schedule, you made time for us. I'm really happy. I'm really glad. Thank you for sharing that, Sachin.
No
Yeah.
worries. All right,
Very
guys.
useful, yeah.
Thank you very much for your time.